Hey everybody, how we doing? Off to a little bit of a rough start. Hope everybody can hear me. This seems to always be the recurring problem that we have. It's good to see everybody. It's been a couple weeks. Got some cool stuff to show you. Got some good updates. I'm having trouble right now having some technical issues that TikTok doesn't seem to be getting the stream. So I'm trying to figure that out right now. I need like a board operator, I think, to do this for me. It's a shame that is not working, because that was I'm wondering if I stop and start the stream here, if it's gonna mess up everybody. Oh, we're not on Twitch either. Okay. Somebody's commenting on the merch. You can go to our website and order your own if you like. Let's go over that first. There's a couple different things, the obligatory plugs that we have to do here at the beginning of the stream. Here's our website, CastleMiner Z.com. I'm going to put it in the stream here. Let me see if I can go over to the... I am so disorganized after not doing this for a couple weeks. I am so disorganized, and let me see if I can pin that to the top of the stream before we get started here. Yeah, this is the one I want. Yeah, let's pin the message. Okay. Couple things you're going to see here on our website. By the way, wish list the game, please. Wish list the game. Wish list the game. Wish listing the game shows us and the rest of the world how interested you are in this game existing, and that actually lets us do things like decide how much money we can spend on the game. So if you're interested in the game, please wish list the game. That would it helps everybody out a lot. You could also sign up for the beta to the game. We appreciate that. If you sign up for the beta, it also gives us a way for us to contact you if we have merchandise or exclusive offers, betas, anything to do that. So sign up for the beta of the game. It's the sooner you sign up, the more chance you have to get into the beta. Like with most of our betas, if you get accepted to the beta, you get the game for free. So there's that. I'm going to point here our Patreon link here. There's been a lot of great supporters on our Patreon link. Appreciate that. Every little bit of money at this point helps us a lot. So if you're interested in supporting the game, come to our Patreon. It's at the link here. It's at the top of the website. You can come in and you can help us however you can, and we appreciate that. YouTube, our YouTube channel, 9,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. It's a big achievement. We hit 9,000 subscribers this week. I think it was only like a week and a half ago or so that we hit 8,000. So I appreciate that. Sign up, subscribe to YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, and you will get that's kind of where the first stuff goes anyways. So appreciate that. Somebody wants to be a Sigma tester. I kind of like that idea. One of the things we're talking about doing internally right now, I'm debating if I should announce this. One of the things that we're talking about doing is giving immediate game access to top tier Patreon supporters. So those are the Last Dragon supporters. What we're considering is just letting those people just play the development version. Like there's a development version of the game up on Steam right now where you can kind of do all the things that I do in the stream. And we would like to set up a situation where the top tier supporters get access to that so they can give us feedback very, very early in the process. So they wouldn't be playing a full game or a real game. They would really just be playing the partially created game that we have so far. And that lets our top tier supporters give us direct feedback into the game. So we're trying to set that up here in the next week or two. So what did we tell? We covered. We got 9,000 subscribers. We're clicking along. Still working on networking for the game. This is going to still be a while, but it's going really good. But I do have something to show you today. So let me start up the game here, and this just came in earlier today. And before I do this, let me just hit the questions that we got sort of earlier in the stream. When's the release? It is in Q4, the end of this year, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Just to kick back to the website here, there's an FAQ section where a lot of these questions are answered, but I'm more than happy to answer the questions during the stream here. Let's see. I'm waiting for the questions on the Xbox avatars. That seems to always come up. I should have like a bell I ring every time that one comes up. Just going through the. If you were on our last stream, you saw our AI co-host. I was hoping to have somebody give me a help so I can get to all your questions here. We're still working on her, Dana, the robot. It's funny if you go. It was a hilarious stream if you go back and watch it. Will it be playable on the Steam Deck? I don't know much about the Steam Deck. A Linux port is very easy to do with Unreal, and I don't know what the Steam Deck hardware is like, but we'll support it if we can. Hopefully there won't be another version of the game. At some point I'd like to have a mobile version of the game, but it has to be like a whole completely different version of the game. Somebody's asking how many have wishlisted so far. We just crossed over 28,000 wishlists. We're hoping for 100,000 wishlists by the time we ship. That was sort of what we agreed to as a team, was that the metric for the wish list was really the only metric that we should care about at this point. There is 28,000 wish lists so far. We would like to ship at 100,000 wish lists. So we're kind of on track. We're close to being on track for that for the end of the year if everything stays the way it is. But if you help us out, share the project to your friends, get your friends to wish list, get us up there. 100,000 would be ideal to ship with. Let's see, going through the list. Somebody's telling us to tone down the lighting because it's overwhelming. We're trying to blind you. That's the whole purpose of the game. Looks like we're getting Twitch people in here, which is cool. Let me do a really quick check to see if TikTok ever came online, if we're actually making it to TikTok or not. And it doesn't look like we are, which is Oh, good. Maybe not. Okay. Is there going to be an Alien remaster? Yeah, I have a lot of plans to do for the Aliens. That is definitely something I want to work on. Is the character creation going to be a thing? I don't know yet. It obviously can't be the Xbox avatars. I should ring my bell. But we would like to have some sort of character creation thing. There's some stuff in Unreal that helps us with this, but we need to we're probably going to ship without it, I think, initially. What will your character in the game look like? We were having a lot of internal discussions about that right now. We're not 100% sure. What do you think the character should look like in the game? Definitely not going to be the SWAT guy. It's going to be something different. But eventually there'll be some sort of customizations. Got it. Whoa, invisible Diet Coke. There we go. Is CMZR, I like that everybody's calling CMZ, I was calling it CMZRE, but CMZR is probably better. Going to ship with CastleMiner Z by default? Are you going to discount? No, they are completely two different products. You haven't drank a Diet Coke yet. Oh, we got one here. Still catching up, sorry. When are the beta tests going to be released? The beta has to be when the game is in a playable state. We're trying to figure out a way to call this thing where we want to get early supporters to play the game, because it's not really a beta because there's like no game to play there. But the actual beta will be when the game is probably about 80 to 90% done, and we're not there yet. How will avatars work for Steam players? Ding, ding, ding. We hit the half of the avatar questions. Like, obviously, the avatar system isn't really a thing anymore, so we can't ship with Xbox avatars, and we're trying to come up with a player characterization. We're trying to come up with a player character customization system, but probably will not be for launch because it's a lot of work. Asking, do I know when the beta will launch? I don't. I wish I did. We're still dealing with some fundamental issues in the game. Somebody's telling me the specs of the Steam Deck. I don't see the amount of RAM in there. I think that's going to be a important thing, and we don't know. I don't know how much RAM the game takes at this point, so that may be a factor there. Also, the GPU. I'm not familiar with that GPU, so I'd have to look at the specs on that. Somebody's asking here about helping us with programming, and that's kind of a difficult issue because of the way that the project is structured. Will the diamond pickaxe and the other tools for the previous game be remastered in the game? Yes, they will. This is really great. A lot of people showed up for this stream. I did not. I'm having a hard time catching up with the thing. How come the SWAT guys aren't making a return to CMZR? That's one of the big things I wanted to redo. It was something that was stuck in the game afterwards, obviously, because the original game came with the Xbox avatars. But we threw the SWAT guys in. I always had this idea. I always said this over and over again. Navy SEALs fighting dragons was the whole thing. So I was kind of going for that with the SWAT guy. We can't use him directly from the old game. We'd have to remake him anyways. So it's unlikely we would remake a SWAT guy. We would probably come up with something else. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. Great game. Made a lot of great memories playing the game. I'm glad that we could have... One of the best things as a game developer is the fact that we could make memories for you. I was just saying this to somebody last night. I was saying it's just so cool. I mean, a lot of the comments that I get are you know, you made my childhood. You were a key part of, you know, my childhood. That, you know, there was some big impact. I met my friends on CastleMiner Z, and as a game developer, this is the only thing that's really important to you. All you want to do is see people play your game, and the fact that you could play it and it could be some sort of like core memory is a really cool thing, and it's the most rewarding part of this job. It's the thing that has made me come back to it over and over and over again. It's more rewarding than anything else. There was a lot of games that I played growing up that were very influential to me, and I remember, and all of our friends, you know, talk about. But being able to deliver that to other people is a really great thing. Oh, somebody actually, you became a member on, thank you so much. I think that's the first subscription that we've had on YouTube. So that's I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, let me at least get the game up and running here while I talk, so at least the video that I'm playing has the game in the background, and we'll hope that we don't. Oops, you know what? I should have done a compile. How long did the original take to make? That's a very good question. It's kind of a loaded question. The original game we made in like 6 weeks, but you had to remember that we had already made CastleMiner, the original, and we had made a bunch of first-person shooters. So taking the CastleMiner game, putting the first-person shooter stuff in, and then launching the game wasn't that big of a change. I mean, if we started from scratch, it would have taken way, way longer. But I think it was 6 weeks, and the majority of that 6 weeks, I think, was doing UI stuff. We had most of by the time we had started the game, we had most of the networking done. One of the first comments that I get from everybody when I play the game is that it looks too bright. But this is all temporary, and I've been putting screenshots on. Let me see if I can pull one of those up. I've been putting screenshots all over the internet of what the lighting is supposed to look like. So let me at least pull one of these up for reference before I get comments from people saying, you know, this is you're ruining the game. This is one of our lighting concepts here. The world is dark and dismal. The lighting is going to be completely different here. This is one of our tests. This isn't mocked up. This is actually a test render with a bunch of settings. We just haven't. One of the things we're trying to establish is how the lighting works in the game. This is actually a difficult problem because there's a day-night cycle and above ground and underground. So the lighting and fog situations that you set up have to work in all of those scenarios. And I also want them to change. Like, it has to change from day to night. It has to change from like good weather to bad weather. The lighting, you know, if you carry a torch up on top of the ground, it has to work under the ground too. So a lot of these things have to come together, and our artist is spending a lot of time in the last few weeks trying to nail this down. But once we get it all down, the game will look sort of like together. And I think this is when we're going to do that early release. Somebody's asking if I made Avatar Laser Wars. Yes, I did. And one of the things I'm thinking about doing is bringing them all back as like a pack onto Steam. All the original first-person shooters. I made Avatar Paintball, Avatar Laser Wars, the sequels to those. Avatar Warfare was another one that I made. A lot of the Avatar games on the Xbox 360. Anyways, let's get to it. One of the things, and I'm just going to go right into it, is we have the Archer in. So let me see if I could launch an Archer. Oh, and of course it's going to crash. No. Oh, we got it. Here he is. And this Archer is going to set up on me and shoot at me here. Again, these animations, a lot of them are oh, there you go. There's a lot of these are stand-in. So we're, you know, trying to fix up the way that, especially the way that the characters jump and move around the levels. But here is the new skeleton art. That's kind of a cool shot of him. It's the new Skeleton Archer remastered. I think he turned out good. I think that he will be kind of terrifying, like setting up and shooting at you. I don't know that he's going to shoot laser bolts like this, but this is sort of like a test thing. And he needs definitely his animation sort of tuned up. He's like sitting here in this idle pose. I'm trying to get him to shoot at me while I'm standing here. Let me get on the ground here. And I don't know if you haven't been to the streams yet. This is the our new zombie that replaces the zombie. And we could totally shoot these guys. Oh, I'm shooting lasers. I was trying to figure out why the ground was breaking. I haven't actually tried shooting this guy yet. Oh, yeah. We were literally just in a meeting right before the stream figuring out how to get him into the game, so I'm imagining another week or so he'll be tuned up. But he looks good, and let's see if we get a close-up look at him. Kind of horrifying. See if we can get these guys. I wonder how they look. I wonder how he would look underground. In fact, let's get the whole thing going for us. Let's drop in some good weather. A little atmosphere. Let's put a couple zombies on the ground here. And then let's create some archers. And we've got the skeleton. This guy's scaled a little bit different. But we got a lot of some better animations in for these guys too. And everything needs to be tuned up, but we're kind of seeing the beginning of this come together. I know there's probably a lot of people, especially on TikTok. Let me jump over to TikTok and make sure that they're okay. Maybe not right now. We got these as the lasers breaking blocks here. Same, so it's like the same game, right? But just a little bit different. Leaving hot pieces of shrapnel around. You're starting to kind of get the idea of the chaos that would be going on here. Enemies jumping around, stuff exploding all over the place. Let me pop a glow stick down here. See if those archers are around. Let me, God, I'm like really backed up here in the questions. Okay, apologies, I'm trying to keep up as best I can. Somebody's asking about mob varieties. Yes, we are. That is something that would be great to have. My apologies here. Just trying to make sure. I want to make sure I'm not ignoring the TikTok people, but I'm not even 100% sure that we're streaming over there. So I guess I should just move along. Do you have ding ding ding? We're gonna ring a bell every time somebody talks about avatars. Do you have a idea where there'll be character customizations? Avatars won't be returning. We are going to deal with that post-launch. Most likely, we'll probably launch with one character. What's the maximum players for multiplayers? I really don't know, to be honest. Somebody's saying here, have you looked at the Magic of Voxel submissions? I did. I downloaded them today. There was a lot of them. I really appreciate the work. I wanted to look at them, put them in the game, and show them off on the stream. I actually wanted to do that today, but I didn't have enough time before the stream to get that ready. Because there's a little work that I have to do to get them into the game, and I didn't do the work. So yes, I appreciate everybody. If you're wondering, you can go to our website, and there is a form here to submit your voxel creations. There's a guide and a form to submit your voxel. You can make them in this tool called Magic of Voxel and make your own things. And if you go to the Discord, we have requests for certain things that we've been looking for. So this is kind of a cool way to get your art into the game. There's a lot of questions here about consoles, PS5, Xbox. We talk about this every time. So the way that those consoles work is they have to approve you for their system. Most of them want a playable demo of the game to go through the submission process. It's definitely true for Xbox. So if it was up to me, absolutely, I would put them onto the consoles. The game belongs on Xbox. It was an Xbox hit, like it belongs on the Xbox. I can't definitively tell you that Microsoft will allow me to put the game on the Xbox. I'm hoping that they will, but we're not at a place yet where I can even do this submission. But there is something that you can do to help this along, which is to support the game. So like, follow, subscribe, go to our YouTube channel, like our videos, subscribe to our channel. Donations, like some of the things I was looking at were, they want to see that there's some sort of donation to the game. So all of those things that you do help us get to the Xbox. Like at some point I have to make an argument to Microsoft that the game belongs on the Xbox or Sony for the PlayStation. And there's all these things where I could say like, well, we have this many YouTube subscribers and we have this many Steam wish lists and we have this and that, and then it'll be hard for them to say no. So even if you're not a PC gamer, somebody's saying to set up Patreon, and I want to point out that we have a Patreon. It's right here on our website. This is it right now. I can put it in the link. But anyways, if you the more support that we have for the game, the easier it is to convince Microsoft to take the risk on publishing the game. So like, subscribe, donate if you can. If you can't, that's fine. But your support will allow this to come to the consoles. And I say this because sometimes people are PC gamers and they're not console gamers or vice versa, and they have this hostility towards this, and it's really not productive. Like for you to say like, like I don't, like, oh, you're coming on PC, so like I'm going to like whatever, I'm not going to support the game because it's not on Xbox yet. It's like all you're doing is stopping it from coming to Xbox originally. The reason why we're shipping on Steam first is because Steam is the easiest platform to go to, and it's the easiest platform to do betas for, and it's the easiest platform to do updates for. So if we can get the game to come out on Steam, and we can get the beta testers to get it all stable, and if we could show that there's a audience on Steam, then it's very easy for us to go to consoles. It would be sort of difficult for us to go to consoles sort of right out of the bat. Let's go underground a little bit. Somebody asked about the engine. We're using Unreal 5, the latest version of it, and kind of love it, to be honest. It's the lighting in Unreal 5 looks amazing. We're using real-time ray tracing, and it solved a lot of the problems we had, and it makes the game look considerably more modern. We had started out in Unreal Engine, And when we got the game together, it kind of looked like the same game as before. So I thought it would be really hard to justify people buying the game again if it looked almost identical to what the game looked like originally. But when we switched to Unreal Engine, it solved a bunch of very specific problems for us, especially the ray tracing. And the game kind of looks amazing. Also, Unreal Engine is a lot easier to work with than Unreal. Not easier, it's actually much more difficult to work with Unreal, but everything seems to work together really good in Unreal Engine. Where we did a lot of games in Unity, and there was a lot of problems with them. It was difficult to get things to work good in Unity. Anyways, caves are a lot deeper in the game now. Oh, let's go all the way down than they were before. I think it's double the height. Everybody keeps asking about the build height, and I can't remember if I doubled or quadrupled it. I can't remember. I think it's 4 times higher than before. It's like twice as high and twice as deep, I think, but I'll have to verify that specifically. Let me throw a torch down and do a little mining, because I kind of, yeah, that has to, the shader's got to warm up there. Oh, there we go. And we can go down. I have a light on my... We're in some lava here. It's ridiculous. Okay. This is good for the stream. Okay. Yeah, we crashed into some lava. Okay. We use the same map all the time for testing, so I've kind of gotten used to where everything is. So I'm kind of surprised that I'm lost in these caves. Caves have a lot of cool features now. There's these deep chasms and lava flowing down for us. None of this stuff was in here before. There's water in the cave. Like you can see, we're still going down deeper. We're down, it's a different type of rock down here, there's granite underground. And let's go deeper. And we're in the new hell. We did a bunch of streams with this. New lava, stalactites, stalagmites. Kind of was a major upgrade. Let me hit some of the questions while I'm here. I still do not know if we're on TikTok, which is really unusual because this hasn't been a problem in the other streams. Let me just really quickly check this. Yeah, we are totally not. If we're on TikTok and I'm ignoring you, I really apologize for that. It's not the restreaming software is telling me I'm not live, and oh, I am totally live on TikTok. Okay, it's just a issue with the streaming software. I know this sucks, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm not ignoring anybody on the stream here. And I'm getting audio off of both places. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, let me hit a couple. I finally have access to TikTok here. Let me hit a couple questions here. Literally Minecraft with guns. Okay, you should go play Minecraft with guns then. How's my PC holding up? Pretty good. Like well, the game's running comfortably on the PC right now. Man, there's a lot of hostility on here right now. Are there any new ores in Hell? I don't have any ores in Hell right now, but I'm actually thinking about doing this. Is it on Xbox? No, not yet. Would like it to be cross-platform. I have no idea. Will there be a new boss fight? Yeah, probably several. Okay, good. At least I'm getting the chat here. This is good. This is good. This is good. It's good, good, good. Okay. Did DayZ inspire you? Actually, DayZ came after us. I actually kind of feel like DayZ was inspired by us. There was a lot of similarities, especially one of the things I noticed when they used the day stinger, like we had in CastleMiner Z. I thought that's funny because that's from us. But DayZ came after us. I would argue that we were the first open world survival horror game. That they're like the first open world sandbox survival horror game that there was. There was a lot of derivative stuff. 7 Days to Die, everything came after us. We originally shipped in, I think it's to 2011. DayZ's cool though. I mean, it's super cool game. It's I wanted to have I've still wanted to always make this a survival horror game that takes place in like a very, very, very big world, and DayZ accomplished that. If somebody's asking if there's going to be more items, there is already, so definitely. Let me just scroll up through the comments here. Will there be armor this time around? I want to do something with armor, but I don't think it's going to make it into the release of the game. Will ray tracing be mandatory, or you'll be able to disable it? This is a good question because I'm getting this a lot on a lot of the ray tracing streams. The first question is, yeah, you'll probably be able to disable ray tracing. Unreal has a lot of fallbacks for that. I don't know what the game is going to look like with the ray tracing disabled. And that's something I have to look into right now. We picked the ray tracing for a very, very specific reason. It wasn't just because it was like a feature to add as like a checkbox to the game. In fact, it's probably hurting us on some level because it'll restrict the amount of people that can play the game. But hopefully the game has longevity in the future. So, you know, our plan is to continue to do updates, and as the future comes, you know, people's hardware will sort of catch up with what's going on in the game. But I'm trying to go to the surface here to show this off. The ray tracing was used for a particular purpose. Actually, down in the caves might be a better place to show this off. One of the problems that you have in these types of games is you want light to walk around the corners of things. So if we had I wonder if I can get this to work in a simple thing like this. If I go down here, I'm going to put a torch on the wall, and I'm going to turn my light off and take the cave off. The exposure isn't set well enough for this. But the idea that this bounced light lights up the rest of this scene is what we're going for here, and it's not working here in this scene. Let me just go up to the top. So what our game did before, and what games like Minecraft do, is they have this flood fill lighting system, which is relatively expensive to compute, where they flood fill light, kind of like paint flood filling, around the corners of things. And they simulate light kind of moving through stuff. But that's almost exactly what ray tracing does, and it does it for you in a hardware specific way that's way cheaper to compute. So the idea is, if you have the ray tracing hardware, you end up with a better look, and it's cheaper to compute at the same time. And the addition is that we don't have to write the code to do the flood filling thing, which is like a suboptimal situation anywhere. So what you see here is like things like this where and I think the other thing too is we're getting this, or is it up here? We're getting this warning on the screen that's telling us that I'm over the ray tracing budget. But, you know, things like down in these caves, these would be pitch black if it wasn't for the light just sort of bouncing down into these places. And we've been playing with the exposure. See, everything getting white there is an Unreal bug. But this isn't being lit by the sun, it's being lit by the sky. And one of the tests that we kept doing over and over again was putting ourselves in a closed box and then punching a hole in it to the sky to see if that box would not only light the surrounding, but like light around the corners. So it's kind of an important feature for this type of game. Unreal has fallbacks. I know that there is a software ray tracing. This is another good example of this. Like this area that's lit up inside of here is all lit with bounced light. let me see if I and controlling how much the light bounces and stuff. But this is sort of what the ray tracing gives you. It isn't just a pretty aesthetic. So what the game looks like without it, I could just turn it off. But right now the exposure, the way it's set, it actually the game wouldn't look much different if I turned it off. But is it if you're going to start up the game and it's going to be like, no, you can't play it because you don't have ray tracing? No, like it's not going to. There'll be some fallback for that. So let's see. TikTok seems to be a little bit more hostile today, so let's do that. Let's make sure I'm getting all the questions here. Hello, TikTok. It's great. Somebody's asking here: is there any big investors in the game? No. We are. There's 4 of us. None of us have day jobs currently. And we are doing this all for free, on our own and like in our spare time. And everyone, to be honest, is actually fairly nervous about this because they're sort of like a big risk that everybody's taking in, taking a year off of work and working on this. So if you guys eventually buy the game, we would really, really appreciate that, and we could continue to do this. We could remain being a game company and continue to do this forever. And if you don't, then things get way more difficult for all of us. So like, subscribe, donate, buy the game, because we all need to eat, and nobody's sort of in a position where they can be doing this. Somebody said, this is a good question, like, what's your most challenging goal at the moment? And to be honest, right now, it's getting exposure for the game. We don't know if there's enough people that are interested in this that are going to receive it well. And we're trying everything we can to gain exposure for the game. The rest of it's pretty easy. We've made this game before. We're pretty comfortable with Unreal Engine. We're solving the hard technical problems. The networking is definitely the hardest problem with the game. We have an unusual networking scenario where we can't use we have to build it ourselves. But we're maybe 2/3 done with that. It looks like we're not running into any serious problems doing that. The rest of the content, building the zombie was difficult because we needed to capture, let me throw a couple of these guys in here. We needed to capture the essence of the original game, and I think we did a really good job. This zombie was totally custom made for us. It was a long process to get to a point where we had the zombie where we were happy with him, and it turned out good. So that's a win. But definitely understanding if there's enough people around that actually want to play this game would be the most relieving thing for us in general, because it would tell us about how much money and effort that we could put into the game and expect to get back. So anything this is really you, right? Like anything that you could like, share, subscribe to let us know, and help us out. There's some debate here about when the game was actually released. I actually think it was 2011. It might have been 2013 for the game. I know it came to PC in 2015. So somebody said here 2019, but we were shipped almost 10 years before that. The game has been around since 2000. Thank you so much for the donation. I see that a donation came in. I really appreciate that. We could definitely use the donations right now. Let me pop over. Somebody's asking if a POC Z is coming back. That was not our game. I don't actually know who the developer of that game was. I remember it from the Xbox. It was like the DayZ clone on the Xbox 360. Somebody's asking here about wish listing on Steam. Please wish list the game. Please, if you're on the stream here and you're interested in it, there's let me drop the website in. Let me drop the website in TikTok as well, because we would appreciate if you could wish list the game. This is the metric we're using to understand if people are interested in the game or not. So please, if you're interested in the game, it helps us a lot to wish list us. So let me drop this in the TikTok stream there. I think I have it pinned on the other streams just for kicks. I'm going to do it here. There's the links there to wish list the game, where you can add betas to the game. Here's another ding ding. I need like a bell or a sound effect I could press. Another question about avatars on the Xbox. Yeah, we can't use the avatars from the Xbox anymore, but we eventually will implement a character customization system if the game seems to be doing well. Somebody's asking, I think, about the wish list numbers. We have 28,000 people on the wish list numbers. We want to have 100,000 to ship the game. So we're like a third of the way there. It's good. They're going up regularly and consistently, but any sort of, your ability to share the game and do things is going to help us out. Like you're the one that has to do it. Well, like we can only do so much. Like we're showing you everything, and like and subscribe, and please wish list the game. Go to the CastleMiner Z.com and wish list the game. Let's see. Let me pop. I have to pop back and forth to TikTok. What's the this is cool. There's a lot of people here on TikTok that have never heard about this before. And it's cool to be introducing new people to the game. This is CastleMiner Z. Like, it feels a little weird to do this. This is CastleMiner Z. This released in, I think it was, I should look the date up. It was 2012 on the Xbox 360, and it's basically a survival horror game that takes place in a voxel world. There's zombies and skeletons and dragons, and you craft weapons and survive. There's several different game modes. One of them is to go out as far as you can into the world. There's another one that's Dragon Endurance, where waves of dragons attack you, but it was a fan favorite on the Xbox 360, and we're bringing it back. So I see that my compass has stopped working. That's so interesting. Somebody's asking here if we're going to add scrapped content that we could not add on the Xbox, and we're adding a bunch of new things. I don't know if there was anything. A lot of, we did 10 years of updates to the game, so I think anything we were going to put in, we put. If anything, I had a company updating the game, and there was more stuff to the game, more stuff added to the game than I probably would have added myself, or not. The stuff that was added were things that some of them were things that I would maybe not have added myself, but we would like to keep doing it and doing more and more of it if you guys want us to. And you can show us that by supporting the game. Somebody's asking if there's going to be a difficulty monitor. I thought we had that before with the game. Yeah, somebody here is talking about the Glock here. It was a 1911 in the original game. It's likely that we'll probably bring back the original weapons. Somebody's asking about minimum PC requirements. I don't know yet. Usually we kind of figure that out at the end of the project. What's the website where you can craft voxels for the game? Go to CastleMinerZ.com, and on the top of that there is a link to submit your voxel creations. Let me just bring that up here really fast. There is a submit voxels here. Oops. And you can do that. It's cool. We're getting a lot of questions here about basic stuff in the game. Let me put the sun back. Somebody's asking about water in the game. There's a bunch of different types of water. Yeah, we got something going on here. Let's just restart it. Okay. We have pools of water that flow now. This is actually kind of cool. This is a deep pool of water. The water flows like you would imagine it to, and these are waterfalls coming down here from these. I put pools on the top of the lagoon is what we used to call this biome, and I added pools to the top of these with waterfalls that come down. And I bet I could take a cave here and dig through. Where was that pool? The big pool over here. If I took a cave and I just started digging in that direction. This is kind of interesting. It's a deep cave. You could see where I'll make my way up into that pool, and it'll start propagating down here, flooding down into the lower area. That was like under that waterfall. It's cool. So yeah, there's totally flowing water and lava in the game. Original CastleMiner Z didn't have that. So that's something new. Oh, somebody put the dates on. CastleMiner Z was on November 9th, 2011. And CastleMiner, the original one, came out on July 27th, 2011. And that sounds accurately. I wanted the game to come out on the 11th of November. I remember that because it would have been 11/11/11, and I had been like, I'm like funny about dates, and I'd been waiting for that date my entire life. And I thought it was so weird that from the time I was a little kid, I thought about that date, and it turned out the game was going to come out on that date. So it's like there was this significant date in the future that I projected as a kid. But I remember it wasn't a good day of the week to release the game, so I released it 2 days earlier. But 2011, so if you compare that to the other games that came out, you have to realize that it was very, very early. Like games like DayZ came out after that. Like we were definitely first. Somebody's asking if this is a remaster or a new game, and I keep saying it's somewhere in between. We want to capture the essence of the original game, but we've redone everything and added a bunch of things to the game at this point. So it's sort of like, but I didn't want to like just abandon everything and make a sequel, so it's somewhere in between. A new game. And a sequel. Let me make sure I'm getting all the kinds of buckets. I'm not sure if we're going to add the buckets or not. One of the things when I was doing the design is that I wanted to do. I didn't want to put in things that were just cumbersome. So, but we didn't have liquids in there before, so maybe the buckets actually, something like that actually makes sense. Is there anything that you cannot do with the Unreal Engine that you'd like? So far, no. To be honest, we haven't really run into a bunch of problems with Unreal Engine, and the renderer is beautiful. There were a bunch of things that were very difficult with Unity, but so far it's been good. For some reason since the last build, my compass has stopped working. Oh, one of the new things here let's do this underground, is that I there were several streams where we made our procedural dungeon system, and this is a bad place to do this. And I put these dungeons into the game, which is a completely new feature. And the desert here has essentially like endless procedural dungeons. So let me slow down so I don't beat the world generation system. If you fly too fast, you end up going past the world generated, going faster than the world can generate itself. But there's these dungeon systems down here, and eventually we'll put cool stuff and cool monsters inside of these. But if you did these streams, if you were on these streams with us, you saw us put together this procedural system. These dungeons just go on forever. And it's cool. I feel like I'm going to use these in several different places of the game where I want something that looks less organic and more authored. Yeah, somebody said in the back rooms too. It reminds me so much of the back rooms. It's just like endless spaces. I get mesmerized by them. I find myself walking around these things. You always feel like there's going to be something around the next corner. And what we can do is we could put some enemies down here and see, like that would be a bad thing to come around the corner and see. Turn my light off. It's like they skeletons. These are all temporary, but the skeleton's hacking over there, which is funny. Oh, I activated some sort of debug mode. Oops. Okay. Somebody's asking here about Steam Workshop and mods and server hosting. I don't have the answers for a lot of those things, but one of the things I keep asking people is how they would like to mod the game, because modding by itself doesn't tell me very much, but if somebody explains to me how they would like to mod the game or all the different ways they'd like to mod the game, we could definitely do them. Like, it's not something we definitely want to do. We just want to make sure that we're delivering what you want. A good place to do that is the Steam forums. If you go to the Steam forums, you can give us suggestions, or the Discord, about how you would like to mod the game, and we can build that support in for you. And here we are in the checkered things happen. That's actually a bug. It's something we have to put together. Let me pop over to the TikTok here. Somebody's asking how far along are we in development. I'm not really sure. I think we're about halfway. I keep saying that, I know, but we were talking about this today, is that when I don't know why the textures aren't on those blocks. That when I think John said to restart the game when this happens. Just do a quick compile. Kind of. I see two surfaces in there, which is interesting. Yeah, I'll have to investigate that. These textures are off. Is it going to have the same theme song? No, we have a new one. It's the trailer. But we'll have to sneak the old one back in there too. Will the game show up on the Xbox storefront for people to wish about? I don't know. That's a really good question. I I know one of the things that they want is a playable demo for the Xbox submission, so we're waiting till we get to that point. Somebody's asking what the longest in-game day I reached in CastleMiner Z. Like, I don't know, and I probably didn't play the game in the same way that you guys played it. Oh, somebody's asking if is there still the snow and yeah, let's go out there. Is there still the snow and the snow and Arctic biomes? Yeah, all the biomes are still there. There isn't any new biomes, and all the original ones are still there. I'm gonna just head off in a direction here and see if I ended up going the right way. For some reason, my compass broke. So I'm hopefully, everything is bigger. The world is about twice as big as it was before, and about twice as deep. So the desert is a lot further now, and every once in a while we might find a pyramid because we put a lot of work into the pyramids on the streams. Somebody's asking how much the game is going to cost. I always push this back on the people on the stream, but we've kind of settled on like $20, I think, is what the price is going to be. It might change, but that has kind of been the consensus so far. Oh, okay, here. So I put a lot of work into the biome transitions. We're starting to see mountains pop up here. I'm flying a little fast here, so it's going to be slow to come in. So the mountains come in. Let me just get on the ground and do this for reals. Okay. And the mountains are sort of coming in while you're in the desert. There used to be kind of just a line that separated these biomes out, but now they are blended together in a very cohesive way. Make sure I'm getting... And we'll speed up a little bit. Transitioning from the mountains to the desert. I'm just going to kind of fly over it there. You see the snow starts to come in. These snow and ice textures turned out really well. Like if you get into a place where you're close to the snow and the ice, these going to crack badly too. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why the... I think I just got disoriented. Somebody made a comment here about $1 to $20. The $1 price point for the game had a lot to do with the way that the Xbox 360 worked. There was only 3 price tiers, and originally the game was $3, which was unusual for that system because the system really penalized people that didn't use the $1 price point. So the Xbox 360 kind of forced us down to $1. Somebody's asking about Xbox. I should have like a different sound effect when that question gets asked. Somebody's asking about ruined castles. Yes, and this is one of the things that we've asked for in the Voxel creation. So ideally, you guys would make that stuff, and we would deposit them in the world. It's kind of cool here. This is going to kind of show off the lighting, the sunset here in the snow. I'm really surprised at You know, I'm trying to remember what John said to maybe restart. The game, and I'm going to do that right now to see if it fixes this. Let me pop back over to TikTok, make sure that I'm getting the... Somebody's asking here again. This is cool. These are a lot of people that haven't seen the game before or not aware of the project. Yes, we are remastering CastleMiner Z, redoing it. It's somewhere in between a remaster and a sequel. It's like a new version with modern technology on multiple platforms with some new stuff in it. A lot of new stuff in it. When will it be released? Hopefully by the end of the year. Is it on Xbox? It is not on Xbox yet, but if we get enough support, we can bring it there. And let me flip back to... Just want to see if these eventually... Just reading some messages from the team that they were doing some work on the Archer today. How can we help get it on the Xbox? Is there somewhere we can write emails? So I've said this over and over again. The way that you can help get it on the Xbox is support it on the PC. So wishlist the game on Steam. Donate to the Patreon, join us, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like, these are all ways that you can show Microsoft that the game has a following. And by doing that, it allows us to make a convincing argument to them that it should be on the Xbox. Somebody's asking about servers for the game. The servers, I don't really know how it's going to work. The servers for the game have always been peer-to-peer servers. It's funny that the Rock doesn't have this problem. Like it. This stuff is cool where it's a little darker down here. And if you're late to the stream, the big thing today was the skeleton archers. Let me put a couple out here in the snow. Let's put all around archers. Skeleton archer, we just got into the game just a couple hours ago. They're not supposed to shoot lasers, but this is the new improved skeleton archer. These guys, they don't like to be close. They want to keep their range, so they don't like when I get close to them. Again, the animations aren't final, but this is pretty much how the guy is going to look. Somebody's asking here about the Kickstarter campaign. I'm keep hesitating releasing the Kickstarter campaign just because of the nature of how Kickstarter works. I'm not sure if we're far enough along. I think I kind of want a playable demo before the Kickstarter comes out. But we do have a Patreon that you can donate to. It's kind of cool. I mean, this is kind of, here we are. Skeleton archers are attacking us here. We could throw a couple zombies in here too, and some skeletons. Yeah, it's just going to be pretty terrifying when it comes together. But these guys, we need a little work on the animation. They look a little tired. Somebody's asking about the dragons. No, we have not put the dragons in, but dragons 100% are going to be making it into the game. No question. A lot of love here. Appreciate it. It means a lot to us to bring this to you. Let me make sure I'm hitting all the questions here. Somebody's asking about customizable characters. We kind of covered that in the stream. I don't think we're going to ship with customizable characters, but we'd like to bring that to you in the future. Somebody's asking here about Xbox Game Pass and how games there make revenue. I don't actually know. Is there a Discord I could join? There is 2 Discords. There is one that is linked on our website, which is our official Discord, and then there is a much, much better community Discord. Let me bring that up. Where the community has been running a Discord server on their own. It's not my Discord server. It's one that's been run by the community. And they've done a really, really great job of doing it, and I want to make sure I recognize them, and I put the link in the chats. I'll put them in both chats here. Are there going to be vehicles? Not on launch, but I would like to add vehicles eventually. And if you support the game enough and we can keep doing this, it's something that I would love to put in there. Achievements in regular survival. This is interesting. The reason we didn't put the achievements in the regular survival was that it was very easy to game the achievements if you didn't do that. So we just have made it so all the achievements had to be done in endurance mode. But I am not 100% sure how that's going to work in the future. Let's throw some. We got dynamite in here, so let's throw some dynamite. Probably don't want to be so close to that. Somebody asks, how long was this in development? We started around November of last year. So we're almost a year into this. I thought it would be a really short project. That's how I sold it to the guys. But as we started to do it, I just wanted to do, originally we were just going to do a port, and I wanted to do more than just a port and make the game look sort of spectacular. while still maintaining the original game. The reason we had to do the port was that our home-built engine would not support other platforms like the Xbox 360. It was based on a technology called XNA that was by Microsoft, and Microsoft chose to not support XNA on the Xbox One, and it left the game in a way where it really wasn't easy for us to do anything with it. And then they discontinued the technology completely. So we knew we would have to redo the entire game from scratch. So I figured if we were doing that, we might as well make the game look beautiful at the same time. Somebody's asking here, will there be Lampland, Hell Biome, and the UFO crash landing? So yes to all of those. I want to do a separate video. I sat down to record it the other night, and I want to do it justice that the Lantern Land was a bug that we kept in, and we're definitely not recreating the bugs, but I put something out there to replace it. So, but I'm not going to show it on the streams. You guys will have to play there and go out there yourself to get it. And here we're going to move. I'm going to stay on the ground while I do this. We're moving into the descent. And these transitions are a lot smoother. This actually used to just be like a line before. How often does the team work on the game? There's 4 of us, and it is our full-time job, so we work on it all day, all night, and like a lot of us work 7 days a week. So it's a small team, and we're working very, very hard. Somebody's asking when the beta testing starts. It'll start when there's a playable version of the game. One of the things that we are talking about doing, though, is releasing a unfinished version, like a developer version of the game, to the top tier Patreon subscribers. So hopefully the next couple weeks we will do that. Yeah, if you are familiar, let's do this in the daytime instead. We are descending into, you know what? We'll throw in some bad weather. A bunch of people in the stream that are arguing about the whole stop killing games thing, about whether you own games or not. I think it's kind of horrible that, you know, people would pull games off just because of the live services. Though I'm not a big fan of live services in general. Like, I'm not a big fan of having to run some sort of back-end server to make a game work. And one of the reasons is that the economics end up not working for older games, especially games that you buy once. I really just like the idea of buying a game, you know, and then you just own the game and it's yours, versus like you're kind of renting a service from a game company. The whole idea of games as a service is sort of ridiculous to me unless they're providing continual added benefit to it. But I understand that if you make a game that runs on a server, you're going to incur a constant cost for running it, which seems like irresponsible on some level. This is the, people call this Orland. We always called it the Descent. It's kind of cool now with the lava. As this starts to break up, we're going into the deeper rock here, which is different, and you're seeing all the lava starting to come down. And this is what everybody came out here for, is all the visible ores all over the place. And we'll totally fall down into hell here. We'd be having a encounter with the undead dragon if we were. Let me get back up. I always thought this was cooler from the top down. Yeah, we would be having an encounter with the undead dragon here if he was in there. Somebody's asking about releasing the 4-pack version on Steam. I think Steam discontinued 4-packs. I think unless they've changed that since then. Man, I have no idea where I am in relation to what's going on in the world. I don't know if I'm going forward or backwards. Somebody's asking about the sound. Everybody loved the sounds in the original game. I think we'll end up keeping most of the sound. My plan was to keep all the sounds and music and then add stuff to it. Is the demon making a return? Yes, he will be back. He probably will look significantly different, though, to be honest. Yeah, my thing was always to get... People are talking more about the subscription-based games, and my thing was always to try to give people the most value possible for the least amount of money. What you really want to do is have people play your game as a game developer, especially an independent game developer. You want people to see your art. So setting up a situation where lots and lots of people can play the game is sort of the ideal situation. And it was great in the Xbox days. I'm so lost. In the Xbox days, there were millions of people playing CastleMiner Z, so that was cool. Like, it's like a dream come true for an independent game developer to have a game that millions of people play. Yeah, we're kind of falling down here in Orland. Let me make sure I pop over to the TikTok comments. There is a lot here. Oops, that is the wrong... Managing too much stuff here. Okay. And we are arguing about a Minecraft ripoff. So I feel like that argument kind of like died back in, 2012. But, people have their opinions. Somebody's asking here is tips for people who want to become audio designers. I'm not exactly sure. That can mean several different things, so I'm kind of curious on what you mean by audio designer, because in the game industry there was typically people that did music and there was typically people that did like sound effects for games. The interesting thing about it ends up being a relatively minor part of game development. Like, we usually kind of make the whole game and then put the sound in at the very last moment. We would typically have one sound guy that would be shared across 3 or 4 different projects as a result of that. We're down here. This is the hell where the dragon would start up. But as I answer questions, I think I'm going to go to the top and I'm going to start flying my way back. What's the game's name? CastleMiner Z, released in 2011. I think we got the November 9th, 2011 on the Xbox 360. Became the best-selling independent title on the Xbox 360 and held that distinction for many, many years, actually. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. I think in total, there was something like 5 million people who played the game. It's weird, I run into people, it's enough people where I run into people in real life that have played the game. I have some funny stories about that. I was getting a body fat scan done a couple months ago, and the guy was, while I was sitting on the table, the guy was like, what do you do? And I was like, oh, you wouldn't know. I made this game. Nobody's heard of it. And I told him, and he was like, oh my God. He's like, you're bringing it back. I've been following the project, and I thought that's like it's so strange that I get this from time to time. And it's cool. A lot of the people that were playing this game were young at the time, so and they're older now. So hopefully, we'll bring you a more mature version of the game that you can enjoy. When will it be released? At the end of when we're done, which will hopefully be at the end of the year. Like, that's what we're planning for. We're all working on this full time. None of us are have day jobs. We're just working on this. Let me kick in while we're doing this. Let me just kick a blizzard in here. And let's switch back to the day because it'll be better, easier to see this in the day. And somebody said here it was a huge part of their childhood, and I think that is such an important thing. I mean, us that work in game development, I mean, there were certain games that were definitely part of our childhoods, and to be able to do that for other people is sort of one of the most really fundamental, beautiful things about being a game developer, is that you could have an influence on people's lives in the same way that the people before you came. So I appreciate this. I appreciate, we have so much gratitude towards the fans that allowed us to do this for you. That, the being able to make this game was sort of a life-changing thing for all of us. All of our lives would have went in dramatically different places if it wasn't for your support for this game. So, hopefully we could pay back that to you by bringing you something that you love and you remember from your childhood. Stay in the daytime here. CastleMiner never did have hunger or food. I felt it was like an unnecessary mechanic. It was more of a cumbersome thing to deal with than it would be fun. I tried to remove all the things from the game that weren't fun. Somebody's commenting here, the snow builds up on the blocks. Yeah, it's pretty cool how that happens. Weather. We're trying to make the environment much more dynamic than it was before. So changing weather is part of that, and weather that's specific to the biomes is another part of that. Let me go back to TikTok. People are asking about the release date, where hopefully we will release by the end of the year. We don't know. I mean, there's 4 of us working 7 days a week, so we're trying as hard as we can. We definitely won't release a game that isn't done and isn't awesome. So. But the goal is to have it done by the end of the year. We all kind of have to get it done. Will there be a PvP mode? Yeah, I'm thinking about something like that. We were just talking about doing some sort of PvP thing. Let's ring the bell for the avatars. What are they going to look like? We can't use the Xbox avatars, but we'll figure out a player character at some point. Hopefully we'll have a player customization system at some point. And I think I am going to crack another Coke. Military fraction-based PvP mode would be insane. That would be good. Everybody's asking again about ray tracing. We went through a big thing at the beginning of the stream talking about sort of why we need ray tracing. The short question is we kind of need it to make the game look the way we want it to, but I don't think it's going to be a thing that you like. I don't think the game is going to not run without it. It'll just look different. Somebody's saying that it's great that we took a break from our 9 to 5s to do this. Yeah, it's kind of weird and random. Everybody sort of just became available to do this. I've been trying to get people to do this for a few years, and I didn't want to make it without the team. But everybody kind of became randomly available to do this. The flip side of it is that we really, really, really need it to work. So anything that you guys can do to support us here, this is kind of cool. We're seeing the mountains coming in the distance. Anything that you guys can do to support us, we really appreciate, because we need you to make this work for us. We're going to go through the mountains and the snow here, which is going to be kind of cool. This kind of gives you a feeling of the feel of the game. Let's we can just to get this up, let's just put a bunch of archers on this hill, and we'll put a bunch of zombies over here. And this is going to give you a feeling for, like, you know, what this would actually be like. Got the archers over there. Skeletons chasing us into the mountains. Zombies chasing us into the mountains. We put some skeletons in there too. And hopefully we'll lose them here in the mountains because I'm out of ammo. They just keep coming. I think that pause to look at the stream probably... Do I have any lasers left? No, I'm like totally out of ammo everywhere. No, this would be it. That misstep would have been the end of me if we were playing. Hide in this hole. Let me flip over to TikTok, which seems... Is this in development? Yes, this is CastleMiner Z 2025. CastleMiner Z Resurrection. We're bringing it back. I asked you if I can give myself ammo. I cannot give myself ammo in this build of the game. Is this going to be on PC? Yes, we are shipping on Steam first, and hopefully if we're received well on Steam, we will move it to the Xbox and maybe the PlayStation. Assuming that Microsoft would like... somebody's asking about the percent completion. It's like, these are estimates. I don't know. Maybe 60, 70%. I don't know. And they're asking about the price. And we're looking at $20. That is we've asked I always ask the fans, you know, what they would like to pay for the game, but I think that's kind of what we've settled on. Let me check the... Oh, somebody's asking about the warning that we're getting on the top that's going, we're saying that we're going over a VRAM budget. I don't know, when we just upgraded to the latest version of Unreal and that started happening. The fact that it wasn't happening before kind of tells me it might be an Unreal issue. but we haven't really been too concerned about it yet. Okay, so that was great. Just recap things before we end the stream here. This is CastleMiner Z. You can go to CastleMinerZ.com. Wishlist the game. Please wishlist the game if you're interested in the game. It helps us a lot. Doesn't cost you anything to wishlist the game. You could sign up for early beta access here. Also, we are running our Patreon right now. We have not started our Kickstarter. You could follow our Kickstarter. You could go to Kickstarter and hit the notify me on launch. But the, in fact, I haven't looked at that in a while. How many people we have? 1,600. We could probably do better than that. Patreon, supporting us on Patreon, that helps out. Otherwise, like and subscribe. Go to our YouTube channel up here and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We just hit 9,000 subscribers. This helps us. All of these things help us bring it to the Xbox, so it would be helpful to do that. And somebody here is asking on TikTok, is asking about beta access and sign up for the beta. The earlier you do, the better chance you have to get into it. So I appreciate everybody coming by. It was a great stream. We'll do these more often. Thank you very much.